how many times have you found a new jump or rolled up to a new jump that you really want to hit, and you find yourself with such a strong fear that's holding you back from going and trying it, even though you know that you can do it? Or you end up trying it, but the whole fear makes the process a lot longer and a lot more difficult. I know I myself have struggled with this a lot, especially lately, and so I've been trying to think of ideas and techniques that I can come up with that will help me with this fear, and practices that will help improve against it. And so I came up with the simple idea and technique that I want to talk about in today's vlog that you guys can try yourself. And before I really get into it, I just want to give a little bit of a backstory. So the other day, me and my good friend Aaron, we were out in the desert and we came upon these two natural terrain heels that looked like they could link together as a double. So he went out and shoveled it and cleaned up the landing a little bit. And a few days later we went out and we were ready to hit it. And although it was a fairly small and simple jump, it was still a little bit gnarly, and even though I've hit jumps that have been much bigger than it in the past, I still found myself doing a million test runs, looking at it, trying to visualize it, and really just procrastinating against it, even though when I first rolled up to it, I knew how fast I should hit it, and I knew just what it was going to feel like. Later on that afternoon, me and him were talking, and we were basically talking about pro freeriders and who we think has the best style. And he said something about it's always the retired racers that have the best style when it comes to hitting jumps, because they know how to just hit things full on all at once. And essentially they're not sitting there procrastinating it over and over again. They know how to just look at something and then go for it. Just trust their instinct and go for it. And so, as I'm not much of a racer myself, I was trying to think, how could I give myself a little bit of this racer mentality when it comes to hitting jumps? And I came up with a little bit of a practice and a technique that I use at the start of almost every ride that has been helping me a lot with that fear of hitting new jumps. So what this technique is I'll roll up to a spot, and as long as there's jumps that I've already hit in the past, I already know how to hit them, I will just quickly look at them by either going over the jumps backwards, just rollering things, or looking at it from a distance. And all that I'm trying to do is just make sure the jump is safe to hit without actually looking at it closely or blowing up to it like I'm gonna hit it. So essentially avoiding any type of test running. And then once I know that everything is safe, I'll lay out a line of all the jumps I'm gonna hit, and I'll get on my bike, warm up for just a second, and then I'll go and hit the jumps full on without ever really looking at them, except for when I'm on the run up coming right to them. And what this is teaching me is to trust that instinct in my gut that's telling me, hey, I know how fast to hit this jump, I know what it's gonna feel like, and I know I can do it. And I'm fighting against the procrastination that is essentially just feeding the fear of when I wanna just look at something and test run a million times and just keep getting more inside my head and making things worse and worse. So once again, to put this technique a little bit more simply, just so you can apply it yourself, is if you wanna help with this fear, a quick little tip and technique that you can do is go up to a spot that has jumps that you've already hit in the past, look at them just enough to make sure that they're safe, like there's nothing weird on the landing, and then once you've got yourself warmed up and your bike warmed up, just get a run at it and get a look at it as you're taking the run, and trust that feeling inside of you that's like, hey, I know how fast I should hit this, I know what speed I need to be going, and then just go for it. Alright, well, we're just wrapping up the session here at the pit. It was a really fun evening. I did have Bryson's bike load up in the back of my truck. He rode my bike home because his got a flat tire, and I didn't have room to haul him back in my truck. But like I said, super great evening. And just a quick little afterthought, if you are going to use the tip that I mentioned in this video for helping get over the fear of jumps, please just be somewhat mindful of it. Like, don't hit a jump that you know is really difficult to hit. You probably want to be warmed up for that. And maybe don't try something that you know you can't hit. This is just a technique for the jumps that you're almost certain that you do know how to hit, but you have that fear that's holding you back just a little. But I do just want to mention that this has helped me a lot lately, and hopefully some of you guys can try it out for yourself and let me know what you think if you have any luck with it.